Good afternoon from Ridgebrook Elementary School. My name is Patricia Hare-Brewer, and I'm the Children's Services Supervisor at the Parma Heights Library of Cuyahoga County Public Library. And today, I'm here to talk to you about families, literacy, and the library. So what we can do to help you and your child. My job is basically to help support literacy and lifelong learning, and the library plays an important role in that. But you, as your child's parent, primary caregiver, you play a really huge role in that. And so I want to tell you how we can support you. So because I'm the children's librarian, I help customers of all ages, but I mainly work with kids birth to 5th grade. And so we're talking preschool and school age kiddos. And the first thing I want to tell you about is it's our birthday this year. It's Cuyahoga County Public Library's 100th anniversary. The actual date was November 7th, was our 100 years officially. And in 1922, voters got together to create a library here in the county. It was the first library district in Ohio, first county library district. And today we have 27 branches across 47 communities. And so I just wanted to show you on our website here, let's see, if you scroll down, here's the list of all the branches. And then there's a map of all the locations. We're really lucky here on the east side that west side, that there are so many library branches you could go to. Of course, I hope you'll come see me at Parma Heights, but there are two other libraries in the school district, Parma Powers and Parma Snow. So whatever's easy for you, we all love to have you. So the first thing I'm going to do is give you a virtual tour of the Parma Heights Library if you haven't been there. There are people who live in Parma Heights all their lives, and they're like, where's the library? Because we're tucked back in Greenbrier Commons, if you know where the police station and the fire department are. I took these pictures during the winter because there's lots of snow. We're a big round building, and we're actually celebrating our 50th anniversary next year. We like to describe ourselves as small but mighty. We have a very passionate community of library supporters. And when you first walk in, you'll see carts and baskets to gather up all your books and materials. We have about 24 computers for adults. And then here's the book return right on the right. Straight ahead is the adult reference desk and the adult area. And then here's the children's desk, the youth information desk, which we share with teen. And then here is the children's area. We have new book displays and special displays. So they're often for holidays, or if we have a special program coming up, we'll pull a bunch of books on that topic. We have board books, which are for the little babies, right? They're nice and sturdy, easy for them to turn the pages. They won't destroy them if they bite them or anything like that. So they're lovely. Picture books in our little gondolas. Picture books are not designed for the child to read themselves. Not that they can't, but it's for you to snuggle up with your kiddo and read together. We've got first readers, which are the books when your child starts reading independently on their own. This is the first place they're going to go. A lot of them are phonics books. They focus on a certain letter or sound. Some of them even have chapters, so there's a wide range of options. And then we go to the chapter books. Again, that's a wide range, usually from 2nd grade to 5th grade. We don't separate them out by age level at all. We've got the nonfiction books. So when kids are doing a report on an animal or science or something like that. And the big thing is a lot of parents come in and they say, well, where are the 2nd grade books? And again, that's not how we organize them, but we can help you find a book. And one great way to do it, to see if a kid can read it, is to try practicing the 5-finger rule. And what we tell kiddos to do, okay, you pick your favorite book, whatever book you want to read, you open it to any page, and you start reading it. And for any word you don't know, haven't seen it before, don't know how to pronounce it, you put a finger up. And if you're holding up 0 or 1 fingers, it's too easy. Like, you could certainly read it for fun, but it's not going to be challenging. 2 to 3 fingers is just right. It's a sweet spot. And 4 to 5 fingers is a little too hard. Not that you can't read it. You know, you read it with mom and dad. You can certainly read it together. But for independent reading, it might not be the best. You want to hit for that middle. And it's not a perfect tool, you know, because it only does a measure of like readability, so not comprehension, whether the kids will be able to understand it. But that's where another great tool comes in handy. This is the newest Diary of a Wimpy Kid book, and I wanted to use it as an example. Oops, there we go. One way you can find out more about a book. So here's our catalog, and if you scroll down to the bottom, you can see we bought lots of copies of this book because they're very popular. They get a lot of love, so they're probably going to fall apart, but you keep scrolling. And you know what? Don't worry about a book falling apart. It gets loved. We want it to be loved and well read. Gives you some other books in the series, similar titles, other authors you might want to check out. And if you keep going, you come to accelerated reader. So this info will kind of tell you more about the content. So Diary of a Wimpy Kid has a middle grade interest level, and which is about 4th to 8th grade, and it says 5.2. So that means like it should be on a 5th grade reading level. But just because if you have a 5th grader doesn't necessarily mean they're reading on that level, which is why the 5-finger rule is a great trick. So I just wanted to show you that. And then we'll go back here. Okay, so those are all the books, or most of the books. But wait, there's more. More exciting stuff. We've got Wonder books at the library, also Vox books. I'm not sure if you've seen these before. We still have CD books, but you know, in the digital age, they're not as popular anymore. But these Vox books are great. They come in picture books, first readers, and chapter books. The little recording device is right inside the front cover, so you can hit play and follow along, which can really help struggling readers if they can listen as they're reading. We've got graphic novels. These are some new graphic novels that have just come out. I will tell you, I guess I can't speak for all librarians, but for me, like, nothing breaks my heart quicker than saying, oh, we don't want a graphic novel. No, that's a comic book. Don't read that. Like, if your child is reading, anything they read is a good thing, and especially if they pick it out themselves. And so graphic novels can be really great for reluctant readers. You know, the text and the pictures work together to tell a story. I love graphic novels. I read them a lot. And again, the comic books and magazines. DVDs, of course, movies, TV shows, documentaries, music. We still have CDs. Again, another thing that's starting to disappear because of digital music, but we still got them. We've got computers just for the kids, the teens, and their grown-ups. So if you're at the library with your kiddo and they're hanging out doing homework, you can come use the computer over here. That way you can keep an eye on them. And then to finish up our tour of the library, if you order something in, like a book or a movie, it'll be up against the wall here. It's our self-pickup area. And then when you're ready to check out, you can talk to one of my friendly coworkers at the checkout desk, or we do have self-check stations too. And then when you bring it back, I love how old this is because it actually says video drop. You can return your materials outside or inside. But there's still more. There's still more at the library because it's time to play. Play is a huge part of reading. Play is the work of childhood, right? Like, I go to work every day at the library and the teachers come to work every day at school. Well, this is what kids do. They play and they learn. So yes, we have books and toys together side by side. Here is our play area. right next to the board books. We've got all kinds of great stuff, animals and manipulatives, trucks. We've got a kitchen and play food for dramatic play. We're also a family place library at Parma Heights. Not all of our branches are. I think about 12 of them are right now. And what that means is that not only do we support play, but I went to a special training, and we work on community partnerships with other organizations that help children. We have a special parenting collection, and we also offer a program 2 times a year, a special parent-child workshop. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But I want to tell you more about our toys. We have over 1,000 age-appropriate toys and games that you can borrow just like a book. And some of these you might recognize. I love Spirograph when I was little. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. I even ordered it for myself one day. We got classic games like Twister and Sorry, Connect 4, Boggle. We've got literacy games. So here's a reading tic-tac-toe, story cubes. I believe this one has to do with like phonics. And then we've got games about social studies, like this is the state capitals, math games, it's like Jenga, but it's got subtraction on it. And then there's a lot of stuff to help with social emotional skills. So, you know, most of these toys don't have batteries. They're just really great, fun things that kids can use and families can use together. And you can borrow them 3 weeks, just like a book. Okay, so that is the virtual tour. So now that we've done that, I want to tell you a little bit more about what the library can do for you. Our mission is to empower individuals and communities by providing opportunities for all to read, learn, create, and connect. As part of our 100th anniversary, we devised a new strategic plan, and I won't go through the whole thing with you. I just wanted to show you that it is on our website if you want to read it. But our interest in literacy and lifelong learning, you can see we put it right in goal 1, that it's a huge part of what we want to do, and school readiness is so important. So that's there. And I want to ask, do you have a library card? You do? I love it. That's great. That's great. Everyone should have a library card. We have special designs coming out, I hear. That's a little scoop that not everybody knows yet, but I believe in December they're releasing some limited edition library cards if you want to get a fancy new one. Lots of folks like the owl. That's Augie. He's our mascot. But just some basic information about library cards. It's open to all Ohio residents. There's no cost, no age requirement. So if you want your baby to have a library card, you can get your baby a library card. It's totally up to you. If a kiddo is under 18, a parent or guardian has to bring their photo ID, and you can check out up to 100 items at a time. Now, if your kiddo comes to the library and wants to borrow something, but you're not there, we can still get them a library card. It's called an opportunity card. You can borrow up to 3 items at a time, and it'll get you access to our computers and databases. You just can't get full borrowing privileges until mom or dad comes in. And this is big news. We did this for our 100th birthday. No more daily overdue fines. It's just an unnecessary burden for customers. You know, if they rack up fines, sometimes they're embarrassed to come back, or you know, they just don't want to show their face in the library, and then what if kiddo needs a book and they can't check it out for their project? So we said, we don't worry about that anymore. The only thing we'll do is if an item is more than 21 days overdue, we kind of assume you lost it. We'll put a bill on the card, but if you have it, bring it back, all goes away. So, school readiness starts at birth. Story times, probably the thing people most associate with kids in the library, right? And it's a critical part of what we do. Every branch does story times for all age levels. So babies, toddlers, and preschoolers. We have family story times at Parma Heights, which is for kiddos of all ages, and sometimes we even get some older school-age brothers and sisters that come along. So that's a lot of fun. It's a way to help parents and caregivers develop early literacy skills in their children. And everything we do in story time is based on something called Every Child Ready to Read, which talks about the 5 early literacy practices and the 6 early literacy skills. So you might not always realize it while we're singing and playing and reading. We're doing stuff related to this. And sometimes we'll mention it, we'll give you a little tip. The 5 early literacy practices are sing, talk, read, write, and play. And I'm sure you're already doing this with your children every day, all day. And the sooner you start, it's never too early to start. And then the 6 early literacy skills are print motivation, so getting kids excited about reading, print awareness. A lot of times I'll put posters up during story time, and it's like, we know the kids can't read these yet, but they see that, that print has meaning. Phonological awareness, hearing the smaller sounds and words, vocabulary. Books have 30 to 40% more rare vocabulary than everyday conversation. I love it when books have $1 million words. I stole that from another colleague of mine, but I love it. I love that word. Narrative skills, the ability to describe something, to tell a story, and letter knowledge. Learning the alphabet and all that good stuff. So in addition to story time, we also have a special program called Baby Club. That's that parent-child workshop I was telling you about. We do this twice a year, in the spring and in the fall. Again, there's probably about 12 branches that do it, including all of the Parma branches. So Parma Powers, Parma Snow, and at Parma Heights. It'll start in March, so be on the lookout for that. It's a 5-week program. It's grant funded, so you get books every week and other goodies. It's kind of like a beefed up story time on steroids, I like to say, because there's even more tips and even more singing and playing. So getting kiddos ready for school in kindergarten is part of our strategic plan. That was in that goal 1 this year. And we already have a program called Kindergarten Club. And it just wrapped up. It goes from March through November every year. It's once a month, and it's for kiddos who are not already enrolled in preschool or any other kind of daycare program. And so here's a little bit of information on that. And we'll be recruiting again for May. It's run by Starting Point, or supported by Starting Point. There's lots of cool videos online. This is Emily Stupiga. She's a school psychologist who works with us. And she's the one who told me about $1 million words. And so these videos are really, really great to look at. We're bringing more kindergarten and readiness programming to all of our branches in the upcoming year. And again, you heard it here first. We're going to start a 1,000 books before kindergarten program. That should be rolled out sometime early 2023. So what happens when kiddos age out of story time? We have student success centers, formerly known as homework centers. They're for kiddos K to 8, and it's a way to get some free academic help, but it's more than that. They do more than homework while they're there. They might work one-on-one with a tutor, or in like a small group, like maybe 2 or 3 kids at a time. They might play some literacy games. The Parma Powers branch is the only branch in Parma and the Parma area that has homework center. It's from 4 to 6:30. There's 2 separate sessions in there. I think one is from like 4 to 5:15, and then the second one is 5:15 to 6:30. And it's super easy to sign your kiddo up. It runs Monday through Thursday. These are all the locations that do have them. So Brook Park nearby, Brooklyn, Garfield Heights. He's not that far off the highway. And there's just a really easy registration form if you ever want to sign kiddos up. And even though you hadn't done it in the fall, you could still sign up now. It's not too late. So if you want to start back after the holiday, you are welcome to do that. So super easy stuff. And then we have some really in-depth programming to support reading. One is called 1-2-3 Boost, which is for kindergartners, and 1-2-3 Read, which is for kiddos in grades 1 to 3. In spring of 2023, the next session will start at the Parma Powers branch. And in there, so like the Student Success Centers is more of a small group situation, but here there will be like one-on-one tutoring. like, I don't want to say intensive, but it kicks it up a notch, you know? So that's a really great program to know about. And then I also want to tell you about Kids Cafe. It's hard to do your homework and stay focused if, you know, your tummy is grumbling. And so we are one of the branches in the area that offers a free after-school meal. Kids in our branch call it snack because it's at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But it's supported by the Greater Cleveland Food Bank. You get milk, you get a fruit, a vegetable, a sandwich. It's really nice. We also have a monthly food distribution at the Parma Heights branch and several other branches too. So at Parma Heights, it's the 3rd Wednesday of every month. The food bank brings some food, and it's open to anyone in the community. And during the winter months, it's a big box of shelf-stable food, so like rice and Cheerios and pasta and cans of beans, stuff like that. And then starting in March, so from March through October, I believe, it's fresh produce. And sometimes it's really nice stuff like plums and salad, and sometimes they have yogurt, and I mean there's just all kinds of stuff, all kinds of wonderful fruits and vegetables. So it's a really great program. So we also have a whole lot of online resources for kiddos. And the first thing I want to point out to you is a new service we have. It's an online chat service called Ask Us. It's open when the library is open. So if you happen to click on it overnight, you can like send an email and your question will be answered. And on the side of every page there's a little tab, and I can show you. See, there we go. On the side of every page, and if you click on it, can I get over there? There we go. So you put your name, your contact info, and then you write your question in there and start chat, and we hear a ding on our end and one of us will answer your question. So it's really nice. It's getting a lot of use. So if kids have homework questions, they can ask us through that. Read, watch, and listen. We can give reading recommendations for customers of all ages. We have a newsletter that you can subscribe to with your email. And then we have a service called Read Into It. And if you click on that, let's see, I'll do kids and families maybe. So first we'll have some staff picks, some things that are coming up. December holidays, Native American Heritage Month, Great Fall Reads. Oh, that's a lot of stuff. But then where is, I lost it. Maybe it's under the adult. But somewhere it says get, oh there it is, it's right there. It says get customized reading recommendations. And so you fill out a form for us, tell us how old you are, your gender, what you read recently that you liked, what you're looking for now. And again, we hear that ding, and one of the librarians will get back to you with a list of books tailored to you. So that's a really nice service. We have a ton of databases that we subscribe to, which is really helpful. Not so much for the kids, but to give you an example, Consumer Reports, right? If you wanted to look at that, you want to buy a new fridge, you'd have to pay for it. Well, we pay for it for you. And we pay for a lot of stuff. So here's the databases. And this is just a whole alphabetical listing of them, but I want to show you some of the categories we have. We have homework help. So there's maps, biographies, culturegrams. If the kiddos need to do a report about a specific country, that's a great place to go. Points of view reference center is cool for like the older students if they have to give like a pro or con of a certain situation. It's very neutral. It just has information from both sides for anything you can think of, any topic. Novelist, which is like a great way to find a great new read, more book recommendations, World Book for kids, World Book students. So lots of good stuff there. Let's see what's under kids. It's a lot of the same stuff, but also two really great databases that I want to tell you about are Bookflix and Tumble Book Library. Remember I told you about those Vox books and Wonder books earlier, right? They can read and listen at the same time. Well, that's what these Tumble books and Bookflix do too. It's really cool. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm not in the library anymore, so I gotta input my information, so let me do that real quick. I have a user ID instead of memorizing my library card number, although I do know that too. What kind of librarian would I be if I didn't, right? So you can see all you have to do is put in your library card number and your PIN if you're at home, and you can get to the database. And it's got all these different topics. Bookflix is cool because they'll often pair up a fiction and a nonfiction book together, and you can read them both, which is really nice. So I'll just go ahead and it's got like puzzles, like questions, links to more information on the topic. So if we did watch the story, and there's no sound coming out of here, but you kind of get the idea. There's the video, and I think it also has like the words on the bottom and the color changes so you can kind of follow along. You might have to enable that here. Let's see. But it is really cool. And Tumble Books is a lot like that too. So yeah, storybook of the day, read-alongs, nonfiction, playlists, puzzles and games. There's just so much good stuff. Lots and lots of good stuff on here. Let's see, what do we have under this link? It's just a little more information. ABC Mouse you can only get in the library. That's one you can't get at home, but that's a great one. Again, we pay for it, so you don't have to. And then Scholastic Teachables is really cool for parents and teachers. There's a lot of like worksheets and information, learning games, Tumble Math, which is a lot like Tumble Books. There's lots of good stuff there. And then, last but not least, tutor.com. So this is like a live chat service. You can actually, I wonder if because I'm in the school, I don't know. But you can log in, create an account, and you can get like personal help from a tutor via chat. It's really cool. That's a pretty new database. There we go. Okay. Oh, and I guess we've reached the end. So yeah, thank you. Yes, I know I put a lot of information out there, but please contact me anytime. Give me a call, come and say hi. I'd love to see you. We got a lot of great stuff going on.